couple of years ago, when I started doing a lot more trim work, I invested in a battery-powered chop saw. Technically, this is a radial arm compound miter saw. And if you come closer, what makes it awesome is the battery. So it's a 20-volt battery. I wish Porter Cable would make this. They don't, so I bought a Craftsman, which is cool. It's been good, but when you're trimming out windows and you're working outdoors, I just pull up my pickup truck, put the tailgate down, and this becomes my place for the saw. So I just did a 45 on this, and it's just so easy. It's got quick stops at 45 and then 0. And when you get ready to move it, you just lock the blade, and then for safety, I just pull the battery. And that way I can't start. But this is such a time saver because I don't have to have power in the house. Sometimes I'm working in a house without power if there's a bunch of electrical work being done or if it's being rewired. So this is a godsend. And what I typically do, like today, I went cheap and I bought some 1x4s at Home Depot, and it's not quality wood. You can see all kinds of saw marks in it, and it's real rough, but it's a rental property. So I just needed to kind of cover things up a little bit. So what I did is I just painted the bottom and the front of the, I looked carefully at the wood to see which way it needed to go. And then so this is now covering the gap in the kitchen between our new sheetrock and the ceiling, because there was a big gap there and it was all uneven. And so this just hides it. And then the last thing we'll do is put a bead of caulk between the ceiling and the wood, the 1x4. And that worked out great. These are $3.47 a piece for, I think they're 8-footers. So that's a pretty good deal. It's cheap and it just worked great. I could have spent a lot more time fooling with the sheetrock up there, but it's not worth it. So I just did it that way. But I do need to get that sealed off with a bead of caulk and to really make it where bugs can't get in from the exterior wall. And so I'll do that. But come on in the kitchen and you can see what it looks like before the caulk. And if you look close, you can see knot holes and everything else. This will need another coat of paint. This is primered, coat of primer first, and but no big deal. I mean, it's fine. So we'll do a bead of caulk above and a bead of caulk below, and then just, you know, move on. I also didn't do the 45s at the joints. I just did straight cuts. But it looks good. And up here, you won't really see this because the cabinets will be up here, so that won't really matter too much. So it's, we're back. We've been gone from here for about 6 weeks, haven't been in here at all. So it's good to be back. Patrick finished, like, we're 99% painted. There's some touch-up that needs to be done, but he got all the gloss white on the door frames and stuff, and now we got doors to paint. So today's about doors. It's about getting this done. We just moved the washer and dryer outside. Let me show you a little trick I learned from YouTube that I'll share with you. If you're anything like me, your wheelbarrow tire always needs air. Sometimes you have to reset it. It's such a pain. Same thing with Dolly. I move a lot of appliances because I'm a rental guy. And I saw this video on YouTube and I love the idea. And I thought, I wonder if that would work. And so I bought a can of Great Stuff, and you drill a hole in one side of the tire, and then you drill a hole in the opposite side of the tire, which is here. And then you just fill it with Great Stuff, and then you do the other side. And you basically, these two tires took one whole can of Great Stuff, and then you just walk away. And when I came back, there's like these huge bolus things because it kept oozing out. But now I don't ever have to worry about putting air in these stupid tires again. And it's great. I don't know why I didn't think about that before. So YouTube is such a good resource for like little tricks like that. I just want to show you this little water heater. On the water heater, there's a little thing called a pressure relief valve. And the idea is that you don't want your water heater exploding if it gets too much pressure from the road, from the street. So you have this little pressure relief valve. And there's also supposed to be a threaded piece in here that goes down to the floor. And what you're supposed to do is every 6 months, you're supposed to open this valve up. You just, the spring loader, just lift that thing and water shoots out of it. Nobody ever does this. Nobody does. I don't do it at my house. Maybe I do it once a year if I think about it. But if you don't do that, all the calcium deposits corrode the end of this valve and it'll start leaking. And when I turned the water on for the first time after the guys replumbed here, this thing was leaking like crazy and I couldn't get it to shut off. Sometimes you can lift it violently up and down, open and close, and get it to clear the problem, and it didn't work. And so I just put this on new. This was from Home Depot. These come in 3 sizes, and they go into the water tank, in the hot water heater, different depths. So make sure what you want to do is you want to shut your water off, which would be here, and then you want to open this up. The water will come out when you pull it out. Just have a bucket ready, and then you take it all the way out, put your new one in, and then don't worry about draining the water heater though. You don't need to drain the water heater. All you need to do is just pull this out. Not that much water will come out, and then shove it back in there and you're good to go. But yeah, don't be like me and do this every 6 months at your house or your apartment or your condo, whatever. It'll really save you a lot of heartache and hassle in the future. We got the hot water heater fixed, so we now have pressure to it for the first time in months. We removed the washer and dryer. Unfortunately, we've got a little leak here that's constant. It's flowing here. And it's just this angle is too much on this little piece of PVC it's dripping. So this is going to be constantly wet no matter what we do. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. The hose bib out front still has pressure, but it will take the pressure off of that and it won't leak as much until the guys can come back and fix this. But basically what I'm doing now is I've got to really do some really hard inspecting on this floor because it's been inundated with water, and this floor is plywood, and plywood bloats when it fills with water, and so it's probably going to have to, some of this is going to have to come out. And so what I'm probably going to have to do is just kind of walk around, and like there's a soft spot right here, really deep soft spot. That might have been where the water had been going underneath the vinyl. And as I go here, just kind of, oh yeah, this is really soft right here. And it's super soft right here, which you kind of would think because it was leaking from here all the time. So I'm going to say that we're probably going to have to probably zip out from here all the way to the wall, which guess what means we're going to have to pull the water heater out too. And if we don't, the worst part of it's going to be under the water heater. So just when we were thinking we were getting close, we're not close at all. We got to do more demo. So kind of sucks sometimes, but at least we have PEX now. And when that leak gets fixed, we'll be in a lot better shape. So we're in the bathroom now. The toilet's still been pulled, but this wall that we did came out okay. It's not great. My sheetrock skills are lacking pretty severely. There's some obvious problems here, but it's already painted, so we're gonna just act like it wasn't there. We have a few paint touch-ups to do, but really this is now kind of ready to, I have to do a trim piece down here, and I've got to deal with the water supply line coming through the trim piece. But once that's done, we can put the toilet back in and actually stop peeing outside. Anyway, we haven't touched this yet. It's filthy, but it will clean up. And now we have a proper seam here where we can just put a bead of caulk in here. And this looks so much better than it did before. This never really got finished out. And remember, this was not green board, and so it rotted out down here where the water comes through, where the people don't put the shower curtain. And so this is now properly done. We had to put all kinds of new studs down in there. So now we're kind of like really ready to start putting this back together. And I'm happy about how this came out, even though my sheetrock mud skills suck. So I was traveling for like really 6 weeks straight. I did 13 flight legs in 3 weeks at one point. I've driven to Chicago twice and back. And so I've just been gone. So now I'm back, and I realized that the guys that were doing the heat and air duct work didn't ever finish. And they tore out all the old duct work, which I appreciate, but now we have no central heat or air, and it's starting to get hot. So I kind of called him and kind of lit a fire under him to get this done. One of the problems is we need to be doing flooring now in this part of the house, but I can't do the flooring because there's no floor in the closet, and they needed to open this up so they could get under the house easier than having to crawl all the way. So I'm a little impatient, but it's been months. I think we started this in January, so we're in April, which sucks because it's all lost rent, but we're getting closer. I just have to keep my eye on the ball. I'm gonna be here every day this week, and I think Patrick's gonna be able to help me most days, so hopefully we'll get a lot of progress, but I've got to get these guys back to fix the plumbing. Painting doors can be a lot easier if you just pull the knobs off. You leave the center guts in, but just pull the knobs off and you can roll right over it. So here's Patrick rolling doors. Doors are looking fantastic. And there's just nothing like new paint on a new door. It's great. Gloss white is the universal rental house thing. Just finished trimming out this tub with just 1x2s. I went cheap again, but it works. So just one into the other, and then I use brad nailer. And that's it. And here's a knot hole. Well, it'll look better once I get caulk all over it, and caulk on this line and caulk on this line. It'll look better. This is kind of a first look at the marble countertops that I picked up from a friend of mine. It obviously came out of a different house, and this is not the finished side. This is the bottom. The gloss side is here. It's beautiful stuff, and it costs me $0. So I'll have to cut it and put it on and all that stuff. And then also over here, this is the new dishwasher. There's a great deal at Lowe's and Home Depot on dishwashers, but the problem is the $298 ones are never in stock. You have to have them delivered, and by the time you pay the delivery fee, your $298 is more. So this is from Lowe's. It's a Roper, and this is a true $299 dishwasher. So we're going to hopefully get some. If I get 2 or 3 rent cycles out of it, I'll be happy. And then of course here's the washer and the dryer, which I had to remove while I work on the floor in the other place.